Hey, what's going on YouTube? Nick here to talk about the Righteous Gemstones penultimate episode here in season 2, entitled The Prayer of a Righteous Man. And we know who that righteous man is. It's Baby Billy. Baby Billy. There will be spoilers in this episode here of mine. If you haven't yet watched it, I highly suggest you do. If you're new here to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, share it with your friends, your family, your pets, your neighbors, your ghosts, whomever, and however you do it. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. So, I really like this episode. And I know I missed the last episode. I didn't do a review on it. My apologies. Or the last one before that. Just got really busy and wrapped up. But I thought to myself, there's no way John Goodman, Eli Gemstone could be dead. Sure enough, he wasn't. I was thankful that he wasn't. And thus, we see the results and how Eli has recovered, what he has intended to do with his family, his past. You know, he is a righteous man in a sense of how of trying to follow the ways and just kind of making up for mistakes and things that should have been, pun intended, but buried and forgiven, and or uncovered as well as I should say, to his family and to Junior. And I really like this episode because of the acting from John Goodman. I mean, he's just great overall. I mean, I don't know how you can't not like John Goodman, but if you do, hey, that's your own subjective opinions and prerogative. But overall, I think because of what John Goodman, or Eli Gemstone rather, is able to do here, by talking to his kids and coming to terms with them as far as say congratulating them for maturing a little bit more while he was on the brink of death, at least on the table here of almost dying after being shot a bunch of times and then getting into a vehicular accident, and of course because of getting shot so much they couldn't drive and ran into a bunch of construction pylons and whatnot. But anyway, it was enough motivation for each of them to really kind of come to their own terms of character development. Judy stops her aunt from getting on that bus, and at least tells BJ to stop, and then she jumps on, tells her to get off, which was glad because she even says it. How can you let someone like that kind of get on the bus? And I'm kind of glad that she stopped the bus. But then you've got Jesse, who is being pushed by his wife, and not to say that he's not loyal to his wife, but he's loyal to his father. And of course, he's got a lot to thank for his father and be grateful for, and which he is. And it pays off, right? That patience, that um, almost that faith in trying to do what he was meant to do, or supposed to do, to get what he wanted, and to really step up to the plate when his father couldn't be there to, lead the way, in which Eli recognizes and gives him that feedback, and that praise, and to the point where he says, "I'll help you out with that hotel." And look, we've been seeing all season that that's what Jesse has wanted, to take the lead, and then even Jesse says that of his own mouth, he doesn't want to necessarily lead the church, to be in charge of everyone, because he said, it's a pain in the ass and it's a hell of a lot of work to be done. And but Eli says, like, you'll be doing it someday. You're a gemstone, you can handle it. And I think for the sake of Kelvin, standing up to the church gym bros, surprised that he carried the cross, even though I kind of figured he would. I just thought it was funny how uh, um, they were like, "You could have just asked we would to go," and he's like, "No, I had to do it. This is dramatic." an exaggerated way. Of course, he had to. But I wonder if that's really the end of all the gym bros. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Maybe they'll come back and repent, and will be forgiven by Kelvin because you practice what you preach. And if that's the case, you will accept their forgiveness. But we'll see. We'll see where this finale goes too. So, but look, even Eli tells the family, look, about his granddaddy Roy, killing Glendon, burying him under the roller coaster Exodus right there under this pylon, um, and then goes to tell Junior and confront Junior that, hey, listen, I got to fess up, tell you what happened, and even then, Junior forgives him, and no more threats. All's well between old friends, old acquaintances. But the funny thing is, Junior says those bikers, not me. Don't know who they are. And obviously, I can't 100% prove to you all who are watching that I had a feeling it was someone within the family, and who might be that person. Well, in the previous episode, we see when the bikers attack the hotel, or sorry, oh my god, I can't say when the bikers attack the hospital, right as Jesse stabs one in the prongs, one in the ass, we see Gideon go, "Don't worry, Dad. I'll chase them down on this bike." Like, convenient, convenient. Not to say that it's just a coincidence that Gideon can, ride a dirt bike. We haven't seen him do it. Again, don't need to see those details sometimes in shows and movies, but nonetheless, he does. He does know how to ride. He chases the last one. The last few down, the three that got away, takes them all out, and then comes back, gets praise from Eli, from everyone, what he did for the family. But I'm like, something just doesn't seem right with him. I kind of think it was Gideon, and I'm saying it now, and it definitely seems like that, right? Otherwise, I don't know who else it could be. There really isn't any other protagonist in the show that we thought it's Junior, right? From Eli's past with Junior and Glendon and the old maniac, kid days, but it's got to be Gideon. I don't know who else it could be. Now, the reason and the motive behind this, kind of interesting. Is it because he wants his father to take the helm? Is it for personal gain? Is he just sort of uh, on this path of evil and doesn't like the family? Again, I don't know what sort of bad blood he'd have towards his grandfather, but at the same time, there's got to be something. If you have any ideas of what that might be, go ahead and leave those comments in the comment section. I'd like to see what y'all think. Again, I'm kind of on the thought and idea that he just doesn't really care about the family, and just wants to take them out. I don't think he has any intention of leading them by any means, but because again, he even almost had his own father and mother taken out, so he just might not care about any of them. And it was just all a facade, just one big giant lie. Uh, We'll find out. I think the finale that we're getting is going to be a doozy. The title of this last episode, um, I believe, is "I Will Tell of All Your Deeds." While the Gemstones celebrate the launch of Zion's Landing, the hotel, Baby Billy faces a chance to embrace fatherhood. So let's talk about Baby Billy, because he left his current wife and to be newborn son, but he wants to make amends. He sees this ghost, this image of Amy Lee, and she says to him, in spirit, I guess we'll say, "I know why you're here. You're close to him." Oh, his son, his firstborn son. Kind of had a feeling he was going to go see him. He does, and boom! Did not expect Macaulay Culkin to walk out that door. Did not expect that at all. I didn't look in the credits and beforehand or see online or any leaks or anything like that. So I try to stay away from things on the internet until I've actually seen them myself. But I almost didn't recognize. I'm like, that's Macaulay Culkin, isn't it? Like he still looks the same kid from Home Alone, but damn, kind of aged. Not to say he doesn't look good, but he still has got that young kid face, but just older. Um, I think it looked good though, but uh, that was a pretty heartwarming conversation, if you'll call it that, but a confession. I was glad to see Baby Billy admit that he was a coward and the things he did wrong, and trying to find forgiveness, saying that I think I'm getting off easy here. What can I do? And then I could punch you in the face. How about that? And so he does, and he knocks him good. But then Harmon reaches down, picks his father back up, is laughing, cuts the scene. He's seeing Amy Lee again in the car with the tissue up his nose, uh, and I like the fact that he said, "What can I do differently?" He says, "Don't make the same mistake again." I appreciate that because I feel like if you've ever you know hurt someone in your life and you ask for forgiveness, and even though they might say like, "Yeah, I forgive you," and you say, "Is there anything else I can do?" and they say something like that, that those are words I think to take, at heart. uh I think those are good words from, especially from in this episode, from a son to a father as well, because I think sometimes you might see that on the reverse side, maybe even as words of wisdom to use for a particular situation. But to hear them from his son, it means a lot. It means, his son's grown up a bit, not having a father, of course. And, it seems that he's done well in life, married a lawyer, has kids. Um, but at least it's going to make things seem, again, very happy in the finale here, because like the little brief synopsis says, looks like, baby Billy will have his new son, his new boy, and he'll be a better father. I don't think even if there's a season three, that we'd probably see Macaulay Culkin again. But again, it was still pretty funny and pretty cool just to see him as a cameo. Um, and yeah, a lot of forgiveness in this episode. And uh, my rating, I would probably give this a solid 8.5. I think it was a really good penultimate episode. It still furthered the overall story, the plot. Of course, we've got a better idea where things are going overall, but things that have been in place since the beginning of the season have been moving forward. The characters in this show have been developing and going through their own arcs throughout all 8 episodes so far, and then we'll see the ninth episode. And I know a lot of shows are doing these weird number of episodes, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 episodes a season, and it's like, quote unquote, what feels right? Is it 6, like, Marvel does it with Disney and Star Wars does it? Is it 7, like what they do with Star Wars, or 8 maybe with Star Wars? Or is it like, 10 with some of the shows that might be on HBO, or, or Showtime, or, any other, popular streaming services like, Apple TV Plus, all that stuff. Generally, I like a good 10 episode season. I think anything less than 8 sometimes is very hard to divulge a good story and good character development. I think Marvel has been able to do a good job in the scope of only 6 hours or maybe even less than 6 hours of actual screen time. But I think a show like this, where they're not full hour episodes, they range from like 30 to 40 minutes, sometimes a little bit over that, but nonetheless, there's still a good story, good writing, good storytelling that consists within these two seasons. And there's forward progress, and I'm not going to get into it, but there's some other shows that I've covered on this channel here that lack that, and that's a problem. But again, I think this overall season has been, solid eights along the way, in my opinion. Uh, we'll see how the finale wraps up, but from what I've seen and what I've gathered online, I think the consensus is right around 8 overall. I think some episodes online that from what I've seen, range from like 8.2s to 8.6s and stuff like that. So I'm kind of expecting the same from the finale, which isn't a bad thing per se, but I think at any rate, we're getting a good season, and we'll see if the Danny McBride and the whole team, the crew, give us a third season. I think there's enough story to do that. Um, I know that they won't unless they feel like the story, um, if there's anything more to the story to tell, or if it's done and that's it. Kind of like what they did with Vice Principals, 2 seasons and that was it. There wasn't really much else to tell. That was enough with for the idea of this of that show, and I think the same thing could be said for this show. So we'll see. I think a third season could be enough. um Maybe Eli retires and Jesse takes over, and then he is trying to grow and has other problems. You could probably incorporate some other marital issues, sibling issues. Who knows what happens with his son. So there could be a lot of propaganda, and attention that he has to deal with, especially like Eli's stepping down. So I think there's enough, there could be room to do another season, but I'm not the writer. So we shall see. But that's going to do it here for me on this review of episode 8 here of the Righteous Gemstone season 2. Again, leave all your comments below. I appreciate all the support. Like the video, subscribe to the video, turn on notifications, share with everyone you know. And until next time, I'll catch you on the finale episode. Cheers.